Welcome to the Lovestead.
Hey bookish friends, welcome back to Lady Lovestead Reads. My name is Jessica and this is a weekly vlog. It is Saturday, February 12th. Where is the time going? I have a pretty busy day ahead of me today, but let's talk about reading. So, I'm actually kind of disappointed in myself because last weekend I didn't really vlog a whole lot last week. I just needed a little breather from the vlogging. But last weekend I went to a library book sale with my mom where you pay $5 and you get a bag and you fill that bag with as many books as you can. And I ended up buying 11 books. Wait, let me look at my reading journal where I track this. 11 books. I bought 11 books at this book sale. And if you are familiar with my channel, you know that right now, this year, I'm really trying to put a good dent in my physical and personal library and bump my percentage, my read to unread ratio up to where I've read 43% of my books. At the start of the year, I had read 33%, but then I bought some books, and so the ratio changed, and it dropped down to 28%. And then this month I have bought not 11, I've bought 15 books already this month. And I have not read any from my own shelves. And that's going to bump the percentage down even farther. So instead of like doing my goal of 10% this year, I'm going to have to actually read like 15 to 20% if I keep buying books at this rate. Because not only did I buy at that library sale, I bought 3 Book of the Month books this month, and I forgot that, I forgot to pause my OwlCrate subscription. So I got another book from OwlCrate on accident. I didn't actually want to get that box, but I forgot to pause the subscription, so here we are. We got 15 books and the month isn't even half over. This is disappointing to me for a number of reasons. One, because that library sale felt very like impulsive, and I don't like to impulsively buy books. Like, I'm usually really purposeful and I buy specific books that I've had my eye on that I know I'm going to read. And at this sale, I got a lot of books about like the royal family, which is great because that's like a research area for me. And then I got just some other ones that, like one that looked interesting, one that was the backlist by Tess Gerritsen, so I know I'll read that one. And then I got the whole like Game of Thrones series. So I don't know, some of it felt kind of impulsive to me, and I really don't like that impulsive nature when it comes to spending money. Even though it was just $5, I was just filling up a bag, and I was like, I was at the library and like they didn't have a lot of what I liked. So I was like, well, I've got this bag, I've already paid $5 for, I might as well find books to fill it up, right? And that was kind of like my mindset with it. It was like, I gotta make the most of this $5. And so I just, like, I feel like I just put a lot of books in the bag just to fill the bag and wasn't as purposeful in my spending with it. So I'm a little disappointed in myself. Another reason is because I've been doing the Broke Bitches Bingo card, which is a a challenge on Instagram that's hosted by the Roomies at TheRoomiesDigest and Sarah from Sarah's Shelves and KathrineZofrea. And I was so close to blacking out my bingo board. So the way that that challenge works is you have to get a bingo or black out your board before you buy any new books. And if you buy books before you black out your board, you have to wipe your board out and start all over again. And I was so close on my board to getting a blackout, and now I have to wipe it out. All because of the stupid library sale. So I'm not going to go to the library sales anymore. They really didn't have much. Like, it was very picked over, and it was a lot of just your standard mainstream like pop culture books, like a lot of John Grisham and a lot of Dan Brown and you know, no offense meant if you really like those authors, but they're not the books that I like to spend money on. We'll say it that way. So, yeah. I really need to hit it hard if I'm going to actually meet that goal of reading 43% of my owned books. And now the challenge this week is that I have a lot of books checked out from the library that I really want to get to. Most of them are manga and graphic novels. If you watch a previous vlog, I did a little haul. And so that's what I'm going to be focusing on this week for my reading, is getting through those manga and graphic novels. And then I have one book club book from the library. And then the rest of the month, I'm just reading my own books. Right now for my big book, if you've been watching, you know what the big book is already. It is Neverseen by Shannon Messenger. I'm so close to being done with it though. So I'll probably finish this up in this vlog. This is the fourth book in the Keeper of the Lost Cities series, which is about Sophie, who discovers she's an elf. She gets whisked away to this like alternative realm called the Lost Cities. It is middle grade high fantasy and I love it. And the graphic novel that I am going to start, because I've got like 3 manga series and 3 graphic novels checked out from the library. So the one that I'm going to start and hopefully get through pretty quick is Mooncakes. This is by Wendy Xu, Suzanne Walker, and Jomette Gill. And I don't know much about this other than it looks really cute and witchy. So that is what I'm reading. Today is going to be kind of a busy day. I have a flat tire on my vehicle, so I got to fill the tire up and then pick up a grocery order. I'm having a friend over for dinner. I have to give Maggie a bath. She's had a little skin infection, so she gets baths in medicated shampoo. So I'm going to give Maggie a little bath tonight. I've got to do aquarium maintenance on my goldfish tank. I need to order worms for my axolotls. And just get some grading done for my full-time job. So kind of a busy day. Let's get to it. There's a 6-legged horse in this book. The cat in this book is cracking me up. Just look at it. Look at how cute it is. I just can't with it. Look at that kitten. Hello, booktuberinos. It is Super Bowl Sunday here in the United States, if anybody is interested. For those of you who don't know what Super Bowl Sunday is, good for you. Like, that would be something to be proud of, actually. But it's just a big American football game. I do have a little reading update for you. So it is Black History Month here in the US. And I've been trying to read some like Black classics for Black History Month. There's a lot of different readathons going on celebrating Black history. So there's like Blackathon and the Black Romance readathon. I'm just trying to read the books that appeal to me by Black authors this month and then seeing where they might fit. So I read Jackal by Aaron E. Adams, and then on audiobook I finished yesterday Passing by Nella Larson. This is like a modern classic and it was so good. So it's a shorter book. I almost want to say it's a novella, but it is about these 2 characters. They're both Black, but one is white passing. And the woman who is white passing is married to this man who is racist AF. Like, uses the N-word all the time. Just, ooh, he's terrible. and she doesn't tell him that she's actually black and white passing. He believes that she is white. And then she has kids with him. And then she meets up with one of her childhood friends who is black and is not white passing, and is telling her about like this husband and like this life that she's built. And her black friend is like, that is so dangerous. Like, what will happen to her if her husband finds out that she's not white, that she's white passing? And just the tension throughout this story is top tier. It was so tense. It was so uncomfortable. And just really, 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 really well done. I feel like Nella Larson needs way more attention than she gets. She needs way more like clout and like credit than she gets. Like, this was such a well-written story. I just think it's a really well-written book overall. Like, it's really, really well done. Very nuanced. There are like sapphic nuances in this as well, which also adds to the tension, because then you're kind of like, will they, won't they kind of thing. Just a really excellent read. So you should all go read it. I gave it 5 stars. And then on audiobook, I picked up You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaeke Emeze. And this is a love story, and I'm about 31% of the way through it. I read 31% of it while I was doing barn chores this morning, and I'm absolutely in love with this book. The characters are so real. The story and the relationships feel so natural and like believable. The writing voice is immaculate, and the main character's best friend, Joy, is aptly named because this character brings me so much joy. She's super witty, she's super snarky, she's hilarious. Like, the number of times I laughed out loud because of lines spoken by Joy, like, it was a lot. It was a lot of laughing, and I'm sure other people at the barn were like, what is wrong with that, you know, insane woman over there laughing to herself? But, like, just was so funny. Like, some of the lines, oh, everybody needs a friend like Joy, right? I need to find a friend like Joy. She's just such a cool character. I'm really enjoying this book. There's a lot of nuance and a lot of layers, a lot of multiculturalism in it. Akwaeke Emeze is a trans black author, and they also wrote The Death of Vivek Oji, which I read a couple of years ago now, which was also a really, really good read. So that's what I picked up on audiobook. Now, I did finish Mooncakes, and this was just the cutest little graphic novel ever. Like, it was so cute and so cottagecore, and there was like this adorable sapphic relation in it and I was just like here for that relationship. I gave it 4 stars because I did want it to just go into a little bit more depth with a couple of topics, but this is YA, so it's probably, you know, for its target audience, didn't go into much depth on certain things. But overall, it was just like a really enjoyable, cute, fun read. And it's one that I'll definitely come back to and read again, because it's just the cozy vibes. The cottagecore, cozy, witchy vibes. Like, I'm here for it. Yeah, so 5 stars for that one. There's this cat in this story, and I think I showed you some panels of the cat in the clip. That cat is like one of my favorite characters in this story. Just the art, the way that it was drawn, this kitty cat, the way the kitty cat was drawn, like, you really can see the cat's personality shining through, and the different panels and the expressions. And he doesn't even have any, like, doesn't speak words, you know, but like, that cat had such character and such character development. Like, it was amazing. I loved it. Then I picked up Volume 16 of The Promised Neverland. I've been working on this series for a while, and this is about an orphanage that is not what it seems. It turns out to be like a really bad situation for the kids, and they escape, and they're in this world, and they have to survive. It's young adult horror, dystopian writing, since it is volume 16, that's pretty much what I can say about it without spoiling it. I'm enjoying this one. This volume, I don't know, this volume is getting a little weird. I'm not totally following all the logic in this one. There's like a part where they're supposed to be moving beyond space and time, and just like the physics of it, I don't really understand. And I don't really understand how things are happening in this place where they are, and like, yeah. But there's a new character in this volume called, what is her name? Aishi. Aishi is her name, and I love her. She's really cool. Hello, so it is Wednesday, and I'm probably going to end up making this a 2-week vlog again. My internet is currently down, resetting my router, so I'm just going to use this time to check in with you and do a quick reading update. But I did get quite a bit of reading done. So I read The Promised Neverland. I finished this volume 16. Ironically, the 16th book I read in 2023 was the 16th volume of one of my favorite series. So that is a fun time. I thought that this volume was pretty convoluted. 2 of the characters are in this realm where just weird things are going on and you don't know what's happening in terms of like space and time and physics. Like, just doesn't make a lot of sense at all. Like, it's very convoluted, and maybe I just don't know enough about physics to understand it. Maybe there's something lost in translation. I don't really know. But there was a new character that I really loved, Aishi. She was really cool. Looking forward to see where she goes and what happens with her in the next volume. But I did end up giving this 3 stars. If you've been watching my vlogs for a while now, I'm sure you will be excited to hear that I finished Neverseen by Shannon Messenger. I've been reading this since December. So I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was fantastic. This installment of this series really fleshes out the world, like the lost cities and it's not illegal, like the abandoned territories or whatever. It fleshes out the world. We get to see more of it. And we get to know more about like the history, the politics, the social structures of the lost cities and the universe where Sophie lives. So that was really fun. There's some new characters that I absolutely love. Some heartbreaking moments, some hilarious moments, tense moments, exciting moments. I mean, it just has everything. It's everything you want in an epic fantasy. There are some points in here that got a bit info dumpy. And that is a weakness of this series in general. I do think that it's getting better with each book. Like, there's less of it with each book. But the things that I loved about the book, I loved so much that it far outweighed any like negativity of the info dumping, right? So I still gave it 5 stars. I loved reading this, and I think I'll definitely reread the series, at least the first 4, because the first 4 have been fantastic, and I will continue on to book 5. I don't know when I'll continue on to book 5 because I really just want to, from here on out, read from my own shelves. There is a quote in here that I wanted to share. The last quote that I will point out towards the end of the book too. And they're talking about someone who betrays them. And Sophie says, he's not all bad. No one is. That's what makes villains so scary. They're not as different from us as we want them to be. That's on page 627. And I thought that was a really good quote about why there's no such thing as someone being all bad or all good, that we're all a mix of both, and how, you know, in our brains we want to be able to just be like, oh, they're just all terrible, you know, because it's easier for us to write them off than to admit that there's a little villain in all of us. All right, I was gonna do like a binge of a bunch of manga and graphic novels, but honestly, Mooncakes and that volume of The Promised Neverland kind of satisfied that itch for me. So I think I will be returning them all to the library, like the rest of them, and I'll read the rest of them at a later date. I don't really want to pick up a new manga series until I finish The Promised Neverland. That's another thing that I'm, you know, thinking about. So that's where I'm at with that. And I also am just really wanting to read from my own shelves. I tend to plan the month and have these great plans to participate in all these readathons and book clubs. And then most of the stuff that I want to read for that is usually stuff I have to check out from the library, and then I just am neglecting my own shelves. And all the books that I have on my shelves are books that I really want to read. And so I'm going to let myself read the books that I really want to read and read from my own shelves for a while. So, what I'm reading now. First, on ebook on my Kindle, I'm reading the second book in the Midnight Mayhem series by Amo Jones. It's called In Fury Lies Silence. I think that's what it's called. I actually DNF'd this book last year. I just wasn't feeling the relationship, but I picked it back up because I was curious, and I loved the first book in the series so much, and I'm really glad that I did pick it back up because it's turned around. Like, it's turned around for me. Both of the main characters are pretty unlikable at first, and I just really didn't like what was happening between them at first. But now it's starting to come around where we're at least getting to know the heroine a little bit better. So we're getting to know her story, and she's a little more likable and someone that I can actually root for in the story. And then I think what's really pulling me back into it, because I'm still not 100% on board with this ship, but what's pulling me back into it is the story of Midnight Mayhem in general, and like the Kisnich brothers, right? The mafia stuff that's going on. Like, they're traveling back to Romania because there's something going down, and like that's what's really drawing me in, is that larger storyline of like this, what this circus is, how it's connected to the Romanian mafia, and what's happening within those mafia connections. So I am enjoying that, even though I'm not totally on board with the ship that's going on. So I do think I'll finish that. And when I read from my own shelves, I'm totally good with reading Kindle Unlimited as well, because I pay for Kindle Unlimited. So I better be getting my money's worth out of it, right? So for however this foreseeable future is, unless I really, 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 really get the itch, or it's for like a book club, I'm really going to focus just on reading from my shelves and reading Kindle Unlimited. That's just what I'm craving to do right now. So Kindle Unlimited right now, my shorter book is In Fury Lies Silence. I think that's what it is. And then for my next big book, the one and only Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. This is a young adult dark academia fantasy about a woman, or I guess I should say a girl, because she's a teenager, who gets into this school. There's secret societies. Supposedly it's like the King Arthur myth and legend coming into play with this storyline. That's all I really know about it. That's all I need to know about it. It's by a Black author during Black History Month for Blackathon. This is my contribution to Blackathon. So picking this up as my next big book, and I'm actually really excited about it. So yesterday I read my smaller book. Tonight I'll be diving into my bigger book, which is, like I said, exciting. Can't wait to get to it. I do take the dust jackets off when I read it, so we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. This is the Book of the Month copy, so nothing too special under there. And then for audiobook, I am still reading You Made a Fool of Beauty. No, You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Kweke Emeze. And I haven't made any progress since the last time I checked in with you about it. So same feelings as before. Hi, it's a little later Tuesday evening. I'm running laundry, so if you hear that in the background, that's what that is. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the vlog here. Things got kind of busy and hectic there for a little bit, so I really wasn't able to get much more reading done than what I've talked about. I actually had to return You Make a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Kweke Emeze to the library, but thankfully that is on Kindle Unlimited. So I went ahead and checked it out on Kindle Unlimited, and I will read that after I finish reading In Fury Lies what? I can't ever get this title right here. In Fury Lies Mischief by Amo Jones. I am about 62% done with the book. Excuse Miss Pippi. And it's come around for me. I'm glad that I picked it up again and started it over again, and I'm still not like totally into the romantic pair, but I'm enjoying the story overall. Like, I'm enjoying, what's happening with Mayhem. I'm enjoying, the mafia aspects. Girls, stop. Enjoying the mafia aspects of it. And then for Legendborn, I really haven't started Legendborn. I just haven't had the mental capacity to really dive into that one. So hopefully I'll really be able to in the next vlog. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. And since it is February, go ahead and leave me any kind of heart emoji, since, I've got Valentine's Day in February and all that fun stuff. So any color of heart emoji will do. Let me know in the comments down below how you're doing, if you've read any of these books, if you enjoyed them. And until next time, make sure that you continue to read good books, drink good coffee, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye!